We'll do a review of Lekutei Sichas in Chelek Yutes, the second sicha for the parshas of Vayeilech. This is a Rashi sicha in which the Rebbe explains the Rashi on the posik Ato Tove Shomazeh, which Moshe Rabbeinu is speaking to Yehoshua, and then later on, when Hashem speaks to Moshe, it says Ki Ato Tovi. Once it says Tovoi, and then it says Tovi. Rashi explains Tovoi means you will come with the people. Tovi means you will bring the people. Rashi explains what's the difference between this pasuk. Why does it say over here Tovoi and over there Tovi? And the Rebbe will explain the whole arichas in the sicha, and then there will be also a heroa in practical for us in our times. Let's look inside. Ois Aleph. In pasuk, in the verse, Vayikra Moshe LeYehoshua. So Moshe calls Yeshua, Vayemer Elov, and he says to him, Goimer, etc. And then it says, Chazak ve'ematz, be strong and courageous. Ki ato tovoi esom hazeh. Tovoi means you will come with this people. El ha'oretz asher nishba Hashem goimer, to the land which Hashem has promised, to Eretz Yisrael. Va'ato tanchilenu oisom. You are going to inherit it to the hazeh, to this people. So stellt sich Rashi the Werter, so Rashi bases himself on the words Ki ato tovoi es hazeh, that you will come with these people. And his Mefarish, he quotes from the Targum Onkelos. He explains, Are at tiol im amohodein. You are going to go up with this people. So Moshe, Omar liYehoshua, Moshe was saying to Yeshua that Zekenim shebedoir imcha, that the elders of the generations, the Zekenim, those distinguished people that were with Moshe, are going to be with you, with Yeshua. So Ato Tova Yesomaz, you'll come together with them. And then Rashi adds, Hakol lifidaiton va'atzosom. Everything will be according to their view and their counsel. Basically, you are going to follow their view and their counsel. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu said to Yehoshua. But later on, Aval HaKadosh Baruch Hu Amar LeYehoshua, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Yehoshua. Later on in Pasuk of Gimel, it says, Ki ato Tovi, not Tovi, but Tovi, as Bnei Yisrael, El Haaretz Hashem Nishbaited Lahem. You are going to bring them, not come with them, but bring them. Tovi al Korcham, you're going to bring them against their will. Chuluk, it will come on Sivdalad, as the Rebbe will articulate this Rashi later on Sivdalad. Over there, the pasuk says, you will force them to go. You'll take a stick and you'll bang on their backs, and you will force them to go in. And Tovi means that Yeshua is going to bring them. So in this pasuk, Tovi means in this pasuk, the pasuk means that you're going to go with the people. They're going to be in charge. But Hashem says to him, no, you are going to be in charge. Yeshua is going to bring them to this korban. So we're going to have to understand this Rashi. Why is Rashi over here explaining? There's a lot of details in the Rashi, but the general question is here. Why is Rashi explaining here the difference with what we haven't learned yet in the next pasuk? And Rashi seems to explain it here, the contradiction. This is a contradiction that the Gemara asks, because over here it says Tovei, this says Tovi. And basically, as Rashi brings down the Pirush, the Gemara says that. But this question, according to Pshuta Shel Mikra, only arises at the end. And more questions. First, the Rebbe says, "What is do shver in pasuk?" So, what's difficult in this verse? Was them was Rashi bringing them loshon from Targum. Now, because of this, Rashi needs to bring down the language of the Targum, and the ganze arichas from sein Pirush and the entire length of Rashi's commentary. So, Zogum Meforshim. So the Mefarshim say simply, what is Rashi coming to teach us here? As Rashi comes from the Stira from the Tzei Psukim. Rashi is coming to answer the contradiction of the two verses. Over here it says, Moshe tells him, Tavoy, you'll come with the people. Moshe Rabbein, the Eibishter says later on to Yeshua, Tavoy, you will bring the people. So Rashi is answering this contradiction. And if we use the language, the way the Gemara quotes this, Ksiv kiato Tavoy. In one passage it says, you will bring, you will come. Uksiv kiato Tavoy. And then it says in the passage that you will bring. So seems to be a contradiction. Und sein answer is Kiturut Gemara, and Rashi's answer is as the Gemara answers. As do Tavoy Retzich was Moshe had gesagt to Yeshua. That over here, Tavoy, this is that Moshe was saying to Yeshua. And Moshe was saying to Yeshua, Zikenim Shebedor you imachulu, that the elders of the generation will be with you. Und dort, later on, there erzählt, was der Eibishter had gesagt to Yeshua. That which Hashem said to Yeshua, Tovi al korcham chulu, you're going to bring them against their will. That's the way they explain that. Rashi is basically paraphrasing and explaining and saying the question and the answer of the Gemara. The Pashto is not schwer to learn in Rashi, but simply approach. This is difficult to interpret this, that this is what Rashi means. Violent. So if Rashi means the problem from the other pasuk, then Rashi gedacht onhoigen sein Pirush. Rashi should start his commentary to bring down the contradiction. Later on says Kato Tovi, as Rashi usually does. Similar to the way Rashi writes in other places. So Rashi doesn't start off by saying over there it's something different than over here. So it's not mashma that this is this problem. Base. Rashi had gedacht bringen in the Dibra Maskil. Rashi should have brought in his quote from the verse Nordem Vort Tove. Should have bring the word Tove or the Tove Sa'om. Bring the people. Why is he quote the entire words? You will bring these people. He's only explaining the difference between Tove and Tovi. And as we'll see, the Rebbe's interpretation is that the whole Rashi is coming to explain the reasoning because you will bring. That is what Rashi is explaining, as we'll see. And number 3, the Iker. And the number 3, the main question is before we studied the pasuk later on, is the garment shver, so there's nothing difficult. But Rashi gedacht sich stellen, so Rashi should have placed himself nicht auf unser pasuk, not on our verse, which doesn't have a problem yet, not on pasuk Atotovi. Over there, when it says Atotovi and here's Atotovi, then sever this stira when the contradiction appears. So the Rebbe explains first the first part of the Rashi, and then the Rebbe will ask questions on the second part of the Rashi and explain that as well. So first, the Rebbe explains that the key to understanding is actually Rashi's quote from the verse, because this seems to be an encouragement, because the pasuk says before that Yeshua is going to bring Chazak ve'amatz, because you will bring the people. So how is you will bring the people Chazak ve'amatz? So maybe it's going to be because we'll see. The Rebbe says maybe. So how is that? So therefore, the Rebbe brings down. That's why he was saying is that it's not going to be strong and don't be afraid, because Yeshua, you're not going to be alone. Moshe was saying to him, stay strong because the people will be with you. Let's look inside. The meaning that explanation. With the matik zayin in them dibra maskil euch dem wort kiato tovigemer. When Rashi quotes from the quote from the verse, also the word because you will bring, is Rashi madgish. Rashi emphasizes as the verter ato toves omazeh, that the words of ato toves omazeh zayin and sinestam of them was state for in posik, that that's a reasoning. We're giving the reason Because that's what chazak ve'matz. It tells him be strong and be courageous because you will bring the. How is Tovi gonna help him to be courageous? Tovi, because you're not gonna do it alone. You're gonna have other people with you. Now, how is you are going to bring this people? As Yeshua veterangin in Eretz Yisrael, zusammen mit alle Yidden, he's going to go in together with all Yidden. How is this a sinna stam of chazak v'motz? How is this a reasoning that you be strong and courageous because you're going into Eretz Yisrael? So therefore, Rashi learns that it means because they're going to be dealing with all the issues, so you don't have to be worried about. So, but the Rebbe says, well, maybe the doichik you can't zog them. If you wanted to squeeze an answer, we could say, that this is coming, following to earlier, not talking about specifically about Yeshua, Chazak ve'ematz, but we're talking about earlier where we're encouraging all Yid. Moshe Rabbeinu is mechazek alle Yid, where Moshe Rabbeinu is encouraging and strengthening all Yid. As a reingehen in Eretz Yisrael. Sollen sie sich nicht schrecken von Hagoyim Eile. While they're entering to Eretz Yisrael, they should not be scared from these nations. To be strong and courageous. Don't fear them. Don't become crushed before them. Don't become broken. Don't be afraid, fearful. And also when he's telling Yeshua, just like all Yidden, is Moshe mechazik, soll sich nicht schrecken faragoyim ha'ele, that he should not be scared for these people. So the pasuk is saying, for you're going to come to Eretz Yisrael together with everybody. It's very difficult to say this. From pasuk is mashma dos is a spezieller chizuk. It appears in the pasuk that this is a special encouragement and a strength that is connected specifically only to Yeshua. Chazak ve'ematz. He should be strong because. So what is it? So how is this going into Israel going to help him be strong and courageous? Tzadam kasha. So the kasha is how does it help? Well, ken zayin ahavamina. So you could have had a thought, at least maybe in a squeeze way. You have a problem. How is this helping him be strong? To learn as the taich from tovido is tovi. That maybe over here tovi means doesn't mean you'll go with them, but tovi you will bring them in. Du vesei araim bringen. You bring in Eretz Yisrael. You bring in Eretz Yisrael. Underfar darf haben achizuk. So why are we telling him be strong and courageous? Since you are going to be the one that is going to bring them into Eretz Yisrael, so be strong and courageous. That's why we need that list. Similar as already it says in the portion of the Dvorim, make him strong. Yeshua encourage him, because he's going to be the one that is going to inherit the land to the Jewish people. So here the pasuk is saying, Chazak ve'emot, be strong and courageous, because you will bring them in. Because otherwise, why do we need this encouragement? We're saying that we're encouraging because he's going to bring them in to Eretz Yisrael. Why does he need that encouragement? Is in order to reject this interpretation. Is Rashi Martidim Loshem Targum. So therefore, Rashi explains the language of the Targum. As the Pirush HaPoshut Funato Tovei Esom Azeh, the simple meaning that you will bring this people meant Arei At Yulim Hamahodei. Literally, the taich is that you will go up together with his people. Not that you will bring them, but you will go up together with them. You will go in together with the Yid. Man is nit moitzi, the word tove mipshute, we will not take out the meaning of the word tove, which means come along with them from its simple meaning. Bleibt doch the shaila, but the question remained, was is their time? What is the reason in Ato Tove Som Azev Chazak Ve'emotz? We're saying to you, be strong and courageous, because you are going to come with the people in Eretz Yisrael. Is Rashi Mamshich. So Rashi continues, Moshe Amar Yeshua, Zkenim Shebedori Yimachulu. The elders of the generation, I'll be with you. Them was his state. Ato Tovoy Esaom Hazeh. That since the Pasuk says that you are going to come with this people, these people. These people that were here, standing before Moshe, and who was, and in their head, in their leadership. So, is doch sicher, as du is keinem yimach. So, for sure, they will be with you. You're going to come with these people, so they'll be with you. Ubemele, therefore, since you're going to have this kenim, chazak ve'emot, ki'ato tzadchileno somazeh, because you're coming in with all these people, you're coming in, so you don't have to be afraid, be strong. From the fact that you are going to inherit them, because you're coming with those people. They're going to help you. Das heißt, die Sibbe parvos Yeshua dav haben chizuk. So that means, why does he need chizuk? Why does he need his strength? The bottom line is, Yeshua will be inheriting the land to the Yid. That's v'atat chanoisom. And when we're saying ato tovayas omazeh, is part of chazak v'amatz ki ato tovayas omazeh, because you're going with this kenim. Is a tale from the chizuk. That's part of the encouragement of the strength as kenim shebedori yimach, that this kenim of the doir will be with you. So basically, so they're saying to him, chazak v'amatz, be strong and courageous, because you're coming with the people with this kenim, and therefore don't be worried that that you are the one that is going to be inherited, because you're going to do it with their help. So basically, what the Rabbi explained, you shouldn't think that Rashi is coming to tell us. Don't think that maybe we should say Tovi means you will bring them, and that's why he needed the encouragement. So we're saying no, Tovi means, that's the literal means, go, you'll come with them. And the encouragement is part of the Chizak V'amatz, to be encouraged because you're going with them, and therefore don't be afraid that you're going to be inherited. But we nachher verstehen dem Hemshech Haloshen for Rashi, still need to understand, however, the continuation of Rashi's language of Zkenim Shebedori Yimach, the elders of the generation will be with you. And Rashi says, Hakoil Lifi Daitom Vatzosom. It'll all be according to their view and their counsel. From them was Rashi sich nicht mistapik. The fact that Rashi isn't satisfied. It's not enough for Rashi to say, that the elders of the generation will be with you. And he adds that everything is according to their view and their counsel. Is move on, it's understood as these kenim, that the elders need nor help him. Not only will they help him, but als werd getan werden Leut zeyer deyonetza. Everything will be done according to their opinion and their counsel. This haste, which means nit nor vet Yeshua nit haben the einzige idea. Not only will Yeshua not have the only opinion, the only say, not adrab, the contrary. This kenim will haben the ganze idea. Just the opposite. This kenim will have the entire say. So that's surprising. Aleph, number one, Fumanen Nemtos Rashi. Where does Rashi take this interpretation, the simple meaning of the verse? How do we see that? Tovesom, you'll come with the people. How do we know that they'll take over everything? Base, where does Rashi see that in the pasuk? Nochmer, in Gemara is the lashon when you see the language that the Gemara uses. Atovaz kenim shebedorim, you and the elders of the generation together with them. So says Yeshua mit this king. That means Yeshua with this king. When Rashi is Meshan, that Rashi changes as needs, they will sein gleich. Not that they will be equal, nor hakoyli fidaita batzosim. Everything will be done according to their view of the Zkenim and their counsel. Gimel. And number 3, Vikemen Zogan as Moshe gegeben the Zkenim the ganze day. How could it be that Moshe gave to the elders the entire opinion, their say? B'shas Moshe Aleino gebeten beim Ebersten. Moshe asked Hashem in Parshas Pinchas, Yifked Hashem koimer ish al ha'ido, was asking for Hashem to appoint a person over the community. He was asking for Yeshua. He asked the Ebersten should appoint. Hashem told him Yeshua. Yifked Hashem ish al ha'ido, given Yeshua. He leaned on Yeshua. And Rashi point out, Ebersten told him one hand. He put both hands on Yeshua. When Yeshua, he leaned on Yeshua, transmitted to Yeshua the leadership, even more than he was commanded. Ebersten told him one hand, he used both hands. So he made Yeshua the leader of Yidden. And in that pasuk Gufa state, and in this pasuk itself it says, so that Yeshua is going to be inheriting it to them. As Yeshua manchas ein Eretz Yisrael to the Yidden, that Yeshua will inherit Israel to the Yidden. So how does Rashi translate in the words of Moshe? That Moshe says, no, everything should be according, Yeshua doesn't count, and everything goes by the view and the say of the elders, their opinion, their say, and their counsel. So we still need to figure out what's the meaning in the rest of the Rashi. Dalet. Now we're going to figure out the second part of Rashi. Weiter sagt Rashi. Rashi says, Ato Tovei, that was the words of Hashem, that was the words from Moshe to Yeshua. But the Eibishter says to Yeshua, Tovi, Avol HaKadosh Baruch Hu Amar Lo Yeshua, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Yeshua, Ki ato tovi as bnei Yisrael la'oretz, you will bring the bnei Yisrael to the land that I have sworn to them. Tovi means al korcham, against their will. Hakol tolubach, everything depends on you. It's all up to Yeshua now. Tu makil, take a stick, ba'achal kodom, and bang them on their backs. The Rashi adds, dabar echad ladoir. We have one leader for the generation. We don't have two leaders for the generation. What does this all mean? Isn't it moving? Aleph, Vigeret Frier, Sif Aleph, as mentioned earlier, spoken earlier in Sif Aleph, is Rashi Mefarish nor dos vasishver in Posuk Alasar. Rashi will only interpret the difficulty which is on the spot. Vasishver do in Posuk, what is the difficulty in this verse? Was to leave them was Rashi bring in that because of this, Rashi needs to bring down Avol HaKadosh Baruch Hu Omar, but Hashem says, what do we need to know now? What says further on the pasuk? That Pirush invited the pasuk at the Sofik. Rashi brings down the meaning, the interpretation in the pasuk later on, Ke'ata Tovi, which Hashem says to Yeshua. Base from Arichos Lashon Rashi, from the length of Rashi's language that he uses here. Tovi al korcham hakoil tolul boch. Bring them against their will. Everything is hinged on you. Tul makil v'hochach al kodam. Take a stick and bang on their backs. Is klor. It's very clear. As nit nor hoder eibishter shelu given an hoge. Not only did Hashem reject the kind of conduct that Moshe Rabbeinu suggested, fun hakoil lifidaitum v'atzosam, that everything should go by their opinion and their advice. So Hashem is rejecting that. Nor these Kainim only habun the ganze. So Hashem is not only rejecting and saying, well, Moshe Rabbeinu said that they will have the whole say. So not only is he rejecting that they should have the whole say, B'shavet to Yeshua. Not only are they not going to remain equal to Yeshua, at least let them be advisors to Yeshua. No, nochmer. The pasuk is telling here, this Kenim zol überhaupt nicht haben Kindeya, that these elders have absolutely no say at all. They wish to reject. In the words of the Rashi explains it, they have no opinion, no say at all. Yeshua darf sich im Ganzen nicht rechnen. Yeshua has to not consider the filnish barat nor even not to seek counsel, mitzay, to ask them, to seek on them, to makel v'achal kol kodem, take the stick and bang on their backs. That's what the message is for Yeshua to do. Doesn't need to ask for anyone. Isn't it move on? So that's not understood. Let it be true. There's one leader for a generation, not two leaders for the generation. Is Yeshua the einzige Dabar Romanik Fnid? So Yeshua is the only leader and the Dabar of the Yidden. Aber from Banat is there hechrich for why do we have to say that these Kenim only need help that they shouldn't help him? But Moshe Rabbeinu Gufa, the other Dabar, but Moshe Rabbeinu, Zayin Doch Given, the Shivim Kenim, he also had the 70 elders. They carried together with Moshe the load of the people, and it wasn't that Moshe needed to carry over himself. Was the Funis Gedrungen? From this we can derive that such a conduct is not bestirat zum klal. That's not contradict the rule. Could be only one leader of a generation, not two. It doesn't contradict it. Because at the end of the day, is Moshe Rabbeinu given the dabar v'sholet. Moshe Rabbeinu was the dabar, the ruler, the dominant ruler, notwithstanding the fact that he was also aided by the Shivim Zkenim, then also Yitoch. So where does Rashi find that forces him to say, as by Yeshua is mushlol oichazan hoge, that by Yeshua, even such a conduct of assisting him is also rejected. So that's the other question. The third question, was gitzu der Sim from Pirush Rashi, what does this end that Rashi writes, Dabar echad lader v'leishnei dabar lader, can be only one leader for the generation, and not two leaders. What does it add in Pirush HaKosov in the meaning of the verse? Dalet. What is the loshon v'leishnei dabar lader? What does it mean, not two leaders for the generation? Assuming right now that Rashi says in the Daborim would be talking about the Zkenim, not talking about Moshe, because the Eibush is rejecting them. Moshe said, Tovoi with them, that they will be, the whole council, everything will be them. And Hashem says to Yeshua, no, you will be the only one. So you should say it will be one Dabar and not 70 or not many. So why does Rashi, the Loshen is Lishnei Daborim L'der? Since Rashi is coming to exclude that we don't use this Kenim to help you, not many, or similar language to Dabarim, there shouldn't be many Dabarim, because we're talking about 70 over here. And on the other hand, how do we know? Because the Eibishter said it can be a lot. But maybe there could be two. Not two leaders for the maybe not 70, 71. Or the Shnaim can sein, but maybe two there could be. We find sometimes there's two leaders. Who are the Moshe? They, Moshe and Aaron, who Hashem has commanded, take out the Bnei Yisrael from Eretz Mitzrayim al Tzivosim. So there were two leaders over there. So who says that we have to reject that? Just the fact because Hashem is telling him that these Kenim are not going to be the council, so that rejects. So there can be 70, but maybe there can be two. So what's going on over here? Hey, so the Rebbe is going to explaining that Biur B'Kol Zeh. The Rebbe is going to point out that we find the difference between the way the pasuk talks about the people Ha'om Hazeh, when it talks about Moshe Rabbeinu speaking to about the people, when Moshe Rabbeinu is speaking to Yeshua about the people, and when Hashem speaks about the people, he uses the language of the Bnei Yisrael, which is the language of Om Hazeh, expresses this people, not it's sort of a derogatory way to refer to these people. Der Toyar Ha'om Hazeh, that it says by the use of Moshe Rabbeinu about the people, is nit Hashem Hamayla from Yid. That's not a name which represents the greatness of Yid. Kumtois. So it turns out maybe not derogatory, but doesn't express any specialty. Kumtois. It turns out that you're going to come with the people. So Moshe Rabbeinu is basically saying to Yeshua, you're going to come with all the people. Main the posik as Yeshua wird zu sein zusammen euch mit dem Chusim Shabi Yisrael. He's going to be with everybody. You come with his people, also the degraded ones, the lower one, the lesser important people. You're going to come with everybody. The idoch, but on the other hand, from them was shteita om hazeh. So om means everybody, but it says this people. So we're talking about people that were there. He's moving as the posuk named them ganzen om. That the posuk means the entire nation. Also, and obviously also to those who were leadership, this Canaan, the elders, Canal, as said earlier. Therefore, Rashi learns as the Pasuk that the Pasuk is trying to tell us two things over here. That we're talking about the Omazeh, that is going to be a job for the elevated people. There's also going to be Yeshua is going to be together with all the people. And therefore, it is going to be that the Zikanim are going to deal with everybody. And Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be together with the Pchusim, with all the other Omazeh. He's going to be together with them. And the Zed, they're going to be leadership. The Pasuk will sagen Shezach. Aleph. Von dem, was steht the Omazeh, these people, or their moirabands, but this, pointing with the finger, these people, uposhet as the Zikanim. So it means the elders, these people, these Hazeh, referring to also these Zikanim over there. From this, we learn out as this Zikanim Shabbatar Yimach, that the elders of the generation will be with you. Based from them was their posik is Madgisha Om. The first posik says the Om, which represents a lack of importance. Let men learn as Yeshua Vetzayin in Einem, that Yeshua is going to be together as together is going to be with the people. Ata Tavoy as with the people, all the ordinary people. Euch mit dem Chusim von Eden, also with the lower of the Yid. Wie is das Meklach? How is this possible? Is it Rashi? Masbi Rashi explains. It's all done according to their view and their advice. The Zikanim vel Hobun, the ganze day, and the elders will have the entire say of B'meila. So how could he be with all the people? Because it's the Zikanim we're saying, and Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be treated. Yeshua is going to be together with the rest of the people. B'meila is Yeshua in them day of eight. So when it comes to an opinion, it comes to counsel, Kalach b'Shara Om with the other people. So what Moshe Rabbeinu was saying to Yeshua, you are going to be together with the other people. Don't worry, Chazek v'Amatz, while you're going to inherit it, but you're coming with other people. You don't have to worry that they're going to be, and you're going to be with the rest of them. Vish timtos. So how does it fit? Vov, was hakoy lefidaitem ba'atzosom. That everything goes by their view and counsel. With them was Moshe tzemich given Yeshua al-Smanik. The fact that Moshe leaned and made Yeshua the leader from Eden. K'amr b'parshas Pinchas, as said in the portion of Pinchas. So Rashi cautions this and answers this in his commentary over there. Moshe Rabbeinu made Pinchas for a leader who wages war, but doesn't take care of the other mundane, incidental incidents of the leadership, telling and leading with the people and the sorting out all their issues. That's not what Moshe Rabbeinu asks, and that's not what Moshe Rabbeinu leading them for. When he asks Hashem to make a leader, when Moshe Rabbeinu was asking, Hashem gave him Yeshua, he says that will go out before them. Is Rashi Mefarish? So Rashi explains, not the way the kings of the nations. They sit at home, and they send out their soldiers to war, etc. This haste. What he was asking is for a leader in war. Moshe Rabbeinu gebeten for the Eden. Moshe Rabbeinu requested for the Jews a melech volzol zeifirn lemilchama, a king that is going to lead them to war, chulu, etc. Lemilchama. Oichot Moshe shen ongezogt, and also Moshe already said, as Yeshua yanchileno eretz Yisrael, as Yisrael, that Yeshua is going to inherit the land of Israel, to the Jewish people. Chalukas ha'oretz was kum behemshech zu kibush ha'oretz b'milchama. Yanchilema means the inheritance, which means the distribution of everybody getting their portion of the land, which is going to take place as a follow-up to the conquering in the war. As vert ober loik pirush Rashi nit der mont, but according to Rashi's commentary, it's not mentioned as Moshe's lahavim gebeten of Hamanig that Moshe Rabbeinu was asking for a leader, that he should accept upon himself the load of the people. The conduct in their inner matters. That's not what Moshe Rabbeinu asked, and that's not what he picked Yeshua. That's not what Hashem picked Yeshua. So what happens with the interpersonal relationships that the Yidden had to deal with one another and all their other needs? Is by Ben Chomesh Lemiklik and Kashin. That's not a question Moshe Rabbeinu didn't ask. What's going to happen with that? Azoivi by Moshe Rabbeinu Gufa, just like by Moshe Rabbeinu himself. The Shivim Zkenim Gehol from the Masa the 70 elders were helped out with the carrying of the people. But Moshe Gerechen, Moshe thought, as that they will do it on their own. Mashenkin Amelech, as opposed to King Sufin al-Muhammad, who can wage war, can zayin oreiner. Only one can do that. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu was requesting. Ish Allah Eda, one person over the community, and he leaned on Yeshua. From them. So therefore, there is not a contradiction with the fact that Moshe had freer gebeten, that earlier he requested Ish Allah Eda. He said a man on the community to them was he says to Yeshua, is going to be according to their view and their advice, their counsel, because he made a distinction. Who is going to inherit him? It's not Ato. That's going to be you. You're going to inherit them the land. And Hashem that goes before you was Vayeilech Muhammad. That referencing Hashem goes before you. That's the war. Is lefonecho hu yimach, and before you, Hashem will be with you. Und der hakoil, and when he says everything is besides leading the war, is achutz hanal, der maso, the Lord of the people. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu said. Und euch das gitzu in dem chazek v'amatz also helps when we say Yeshua be strong and courageous. As er wird sich in ganzen nicht davon sorgen wegen maso he won't have to worry at all about the load of the people. Those won't done this kingdom. That will be done for this kingdom. So this is the way Rashi takes and knows that this kingdom are going to be the leaders, as Ha'am, and Yeshua is not going to have any worries. And that's how Rashi interprets that. And that's how Rashi, Rabbi asked before, how does Rashi know that they're going to take over? Because this is the meaning from Ha'am Hazeh, the both thing, the Ha'am and Hazeh. Zayin. Dos Alin is open is glatik. It's still not smooth. because by the 5-year-old who learning the Mikra, it makes sense to him as Yeshua, from Moshe in Allah Proti, that he took over the leadership from Moshe in all details. Not just to his part, as we just make the distinction only for war and the distribution of the land later on. So it doesn't seem that that's all that Yeshua took over. Befrat, as the Eibster Geis to Moshe Rabbeinu, that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, not nor to say Yeshua, didn't tell him to lean on him, nor give from your glory, from your ray on him, the man Yishmu has been Israel, so that all the community Yidden will listen. Und der Eibster hat gesagt, B'tzivisa oisoi al Yisrael, and you should command Yeshua. Hashem says about that. Tell Yeshua, instruct him al Yisrael about the Jewish people. Know that their troubles, they are people who rebel, who refuse. Difficult. They're difficult. But for them, alm is mashma. So that from all this appears as Yeshua beginu masa. It seems that he took also the lead, the carrying the load of the generation of the people. So we have to answer in a squeezed way, as Ibaldes is given, nor Taitavat Sosom from this Kenim, since it was only the view and the counsel of the elders. But the actual doing, it was Yeshua. It's called also the leader. That was his leadership. The troubles that they do would also apply to Yeshua, even though he wasn't involved so much in the day-to-day activity. So it's Rashi Shalom Dechek. So Rashi wants to reject this difficulty, and Rashi brings down the rest of the pshat in the pasuk. On his mamshich, and he continues, as those was state tovayas omazeh. When we say he's going to bring these people as kenim shebedoiv you imach hakol ifidaitum vatsoson, that everything is going to be according to their view and their counsel. Is blois was Moshe had gesagt. That's what Moshe said. Avala Kadosh Baruch Hu Amar Yeshua. Hashem says something different. So it's different. Therefore, really, Hashem needs to make sure that Yeshua is going to be able to tolerate them, because unlike what Moshe Rabbeinu just suggested, that he's going to just have to wage the wars and somebody else is going to take care of the day-to-day issues. No, that's not the case. Hashem said, Yeshua, Tavi al korcham chulu, that you're going to bring them against their will. As they're you're also going to have to deal with the load of the people. And Rebbe brings out now the extra change over there, that over there it says, not the Omazeh, it says Bnei Yisrael. That's the difference. Over here it says, you shall bring, and you will come with, and here it says, you will bring. There's another difference. These people, und dorten as Bnei Yisrael. Over there it says Bnei Yisrael. Because Bnei Yisrael is a Shem HaMayla. That's a name which brings out the advantage from it. From the Nit v'Omazeh and Alsifei, not as Omazeh, which doesn't speak of any advantage. Their fun was their posik is Meshana, the fact that the posik changes from Frier, by Tovi state Bnei Yisrael. By Tovi it says Bnei Yisrael. Nemt Rashi Aruis. So this Rashi takes out from this as the mit is Memoisik Nochaninyan, that here we're adding an additional matter. Nit Norvet Yeshua on Firm B'Masa on from Klal Yisrael. Not only will Yeshua lead in the load of the people from all the Yidden, nor evet euch schölet sein auf die Anscha Meile zwischen die Yidden, but rather he will also be in charge and dominate over those who have advantages amongst the Eden. This is Canaan. He will be in charge over them as well. And therefore, it's not only that you will bring them against their will. Everything depends on you, on Yeshua. Not like by Moshe, where this Canaan did carry with him, but over here, you are going to be in charge of them. You're going to lead them all. Not alles wird sein opening in Yeshua, not everything will be hinged on Yeshua. Not noch mehr. So not only would everything be dependent on you, not noch mehr to makil v'ach al kodon. Take the stick and back on their necks is on this Canaan. The shlita makil from Yeshua, the dominance of the stick of Yeshua is of this Canaan with Allah on the elders, just as it's like, that's what it says, Bnei Yisrael. This Caleb and the Talmud Cain day of the Matzah. They will have no opinion about how to lead the people, and the stick of Yeshua will apply to them as well. So based on this, it turns out as the Hoge for Yeshua is Punkta Fakerte Hoges Moshe, that the conduct of Yeshua is just the opposite of Moshe. But Moshe Rabbeinu this Canaan with Golf and Masahom. Over there, they helped with the carrying of the people. And by Yeshua, they had no view, no voice at all, no opinion at all. Isn't it glottic? So it's not so smooth. Yeshua is Doch Moshe Moshe. Yeshua is a servant of Moshe. He didn't move away from the tent. Moshe's face was like the sun and Yeshua was like the Levana. So they're similar to each other and in a lower level. Where does the sun, the moon get its light from the sun? So how could it be different by Yeshua than by Moshe? How could his conduct be different, opposite than the leadership, than the conduct from his teacher Moshe Rabbeinu? Talking about Moshe Rabbeinu here versus Yeshua. There's only one leader for the generation, not two leaders for the generation. But the myth is Rashi show that Rashi rejects it in a hint way. Nicht nor the Schlit von this Canaan. Rashi was not only that this Canaan did. Norech Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't have a dominance over here. During the life of Moshe, Yeshua was his servant. When he got to Moshe, he was totally devoted to Moshe, Moshe's Sanhoge, and the way Moshe leadership, how he conducted himself. When it comes the time as Yeshua is over demonic, then Yeshua becomes the leader. Then there is no room for the path and the conduct of Moshe Rabbeinu. The time of Yeshua, you need to conduct yourself how it comes out, the way it carries out because of the aspect of Yeshua. But if Yeshua will continue to lead as it was in the days of Moshe, like Moshe led, but then it comes out, there's two leaders, Yeshua and Moshe. It's Yeshua and Moshe, but Yeshua gets sein derech, Yeshua follows in his path. So that means Moshe continued to lead. Since there's only one leader, is the Anhoge from Yeshua, Anders and Moshe Anhoge. So Anhoge for Yeshua is different than Anhoge for Moshe. Moshe, through separating from himself, a tel for Masahom to this Canaan, a part of the carrying of the people to the elders. But Yeshua Yeshua doesn't need that. And those was by Yitzis Mitzrayim is given Aaron and Moshe Gevil Sivdalet. And the fact that by Yitzis Mitzrayim there were two leaders, it seems almost Aaron and Moshe Dabar Echad, is weil dort is nicht given any from Dabar Ladoir. It wasn't talking about a leadership for the generation. But Oisvin Ashlichus, it was to accomplish a mission with the Yekas Oicheni Reprotim, which is also specific in the details from Haroshvin and Israel, Meres Mitzrayim, that had to do, to take them out, Meres Mitzrayim had to be done through Moshe and Aaron. Yud, for Yenishal Toyden Pirush Rashi, what's the wine of Toyden Pirush Rashi? Steht in Chassidus, it says in Chassidus, as in Yeshua and Franz Zwei Madreges, that in Yeshua there consists two levels. Aleph, number one, there is Meshoros Makabel from Moshe, how he's a servant and the recipient from Moshe. Beis veris le'atzmai, as he's on his own, noch his talkus Moshe, after Moshe's passing. But those is there, but then is there b'chinas nar v'katlas. Then he becomes in the level of nar and small. As aber farana meile davki the meaning for nar v'katlas. There is an advantage specifically in that aspect of being youth, a nar, and small. The Pasuk says because Yisrael is a nar, a youngster, that's what the reason I love him. Because specifically in this aspect of nar and katnis, there is that subjugation, they're accepting the yoke of the heavenly kingdom, more than in the service that is based on greatness, the mind and the heart. And their far is dafkin them dafkin there, in that subjugation, not in your intellect, not in the heart, but in your subjugation, the love of Hashem, for Natzmusi Yisparich, of the essence, of blessed essence. This is the chiluk. This is the difference between the two verses. You bring the people, come with the people. Is Yeshua is makabel from Moshe. That's where Yeshua receives from Moshe. And from the perspective of Moshe's level is that Inyan HaZkenim is a Shekona Chochma. This concept of this Kenim is Zokin is one who has wisdom. Avodah shal pitam v'das. That's a Avodah which is on the intellect knowledge. But Ato Tovi is Bnei Yisrael. Seine Divra Kodesh Baruch Hu Yeshua. There's the Moshe's aspect to Yeshua, and then there's the words of HaKadosh Yeshua. Mitzad Milas Habitl from Yeshua, because of the advantage of the subjugation of Yeshua. Nar Yisrael ve'aveyu. That Yisrael is a nar, and I love him. Mitzad the Bitl Shalamaylo Mitam Das, because subjugation, which is beyond reason and understanding, rationale. So we don't need to come on to those who acquire chokhmah. Their level of bittul is the ultimate connection. This is also hinted in the difference of the letters. Tavoy has a vav, and tavi has a yud. Tavoy is mitavov. That's what a vav, and tavi mitayud. Avav moira lam shachem u'maylamat. Vav points extending from above to below. For some shocha is chutz von etzem. Shocha is outside of the essence, comes out. Therefore, there's measure and limitation. When we talk about in this, how does it interpret in the service? Does the avodah shapitam badas? That's the service which is based on reason and rationale. From Madarf onkumet to the zkenim, where we need the zkenim, they make sure as the amshachas will come b'makom aroi, that it should come in the proper place. But hayud, which is only a point, was vaiste bittul, that represents subjugation. And for this perspective, that service, darf men it onkom to the zkenim. We don't have to come on to the elders, to the chokhmah. The yud also accomplishes in the zkenim the reign for bittul, that not their chokhmah should be dominant, but their subjugation. Tobi al karcham. Bring them against their will to makav hachal kodem. Take a stick and bang on their backs, meaning the Kabbalah soil and the level of bittul. From the heroes, from the Pirush Rashi. So, what is the lesson that we can take out in actuality from this Rashi commentary? When in our days we demand, as jeder muss aufgeben Zeit, that everybody must devote time. If of spreading out Torah in Judaism, in general, especially in the 10 very well-known campaigns, the mitzvah campaigns, and this all needs to be penetrated and absorbed with the futzum and the sicha with spreading the well springs outside. So in there are those that are arguing, as a Kedoiris is not given as an in the olden generation, there wasn't such a conduct. In Friedrich Kedoiris, in the previous generation, hat man sich nicht gekocht bei Öfen gesehen, aber es ist so. We did not we got so excited and burning with such devotion to this Kavas Yisrael, love the fellow Jew, the Baal, as by the let's year till the latest years. When the Rebbe, the Shari is coming to America. When the Rebbe and my father-in-law came to America, he's not given Anoga, wasn't such Anoga. He come to some how could it be that you should start initiations of new types of service? One leader for the generation, not two leaders for the generation. It could be that in the previous generation they didn't need such a type of a service. But in our generation, from the Maimer similar to the saying and the instruction of our sage of blessed memory, when they came to Babylonia, same thing, when we come to the mix-up in Zman and time, this is Babel. In our age, his book, Motza, and he found the Babel, go together. So then he made a fence over there. He found things that need corrections. He got and corrected. The Rebbe, the Nosi Zokt, and the Rebbe, the leader says, and in Heintige Zeiten is a hechech, that nowadays there is a necessity, must to occupy yourself in spreading the wellspring to the outside, the Nochmer, and even more, Begeres HaKodesh on the first service of Baal Shem Tov, in the holy letter that is well publicized at the Baal Shem Tov, as in them is totally means Mashiach, that Mashiach's coming hinges on your futzum and nesecha chutz and spreading the wellsprings. Darfen sich führen, like derech von dem daber, we need to conduct ourselves in the path of this leader of Manik from them doir and the leader of this generation. Yeder was is in them doir, that everybody who's in this generation that ton in their avodah needs to do this service. Through them and through this is Ka'osimar. The master comes, the Malka Meshicha B'Korev Mamesh, King Mashiach very soon. This is Mesicha Shabbos Parshas in Tzom Vayeilech, Tovshin Lamed, and Shabbos Parshas Ha'azinu, Tovshin Lamed Aleph.